We are through 8 weeks of the Texas high school football season. There are a number of teams that have played 8 games, and there's a number of teams, very small amount of teams, that have won all 8 games.
That's right.
One of those teams is out east.
Yeah.
The Purple Tigers of Mount
right.
Vernon are 8-0 to start off the 2017 season. And here to talk about his unbeaten, unblemished, unchallenged Purple Tigers is the head coach of Mount Vernon. We're joined by Coach Josh Finney. Coach, how are you?
Man, doing great. Thanks for being there.
How are things in beautiful Mount Vernon?
Oh, we had a big win Friday night, and spirits are pretty high. So, everything's going great right now.
Yeah, things are going great. You guys knock off the defending state champs Mineola in resounding fashion as well, 60-21. I know that coaches pride themselves on telling players, listen, it's one game at a time. This is no different than any other week. Between you, me, and a national audience, was the Mineola game a little bit maybe circled an extra time on the calendar?
No, but last Friday night, it's the biggest game that we've had yet to date. It was the biggest game for our program to make a statement in recent years. To flip the table and turn the tide the way things have been going. So we just had a great opportunity in front of us, and I just challenge our kids to be able to take full advantage of a situation like that, and don't have any regrets after the game.
You guys come out and really jump on top of them right from the jump. This was a real team effort to do that. What was your message to your kids heading into this game, knowing, hey, you mentioned it, this is one of the biggest games that you guys have had in recent program history. What was your message to the kids beforehand?
I hardly ever even have a player of the week to be able to acknowledge or try to nominate somebody. We rushed for 500 and something yards the other night, and my leading rusher has like 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Every team across the state has those numbers for a running back, so it's nothing special. But what we do have is I got a group of kids that are very unselfish, don't care who gets the credit, and but I just challenged them Friday, to play as hard as they possibly could ever play, but and maybe we do a little insisting that they play as hard as they can every play. And but that was the whole message of us is we also take it one game at a time. We got to take it a play at a time. You go as hard as you can, and if you can't go as hard next play, let me get somebody in there for you. But I want you to go as hard as you stinking can, and do the best of your ability. And what happens will happen. I promise you'll be proud at the end of the night. But sometimes kids maybe play scared or play where they don't want to make a mistake, or they play not to lose. And there's a big difference between playing to win and playing to lose, not to lose, and those sort of things are. So they rose up to the challenge.
You're in your first year as the head coach there at Mount Vernon. You took over for a relative legend out there in East Texas, and Dickie Meeks as he retired. How much have you tried to put your stamp on the program in your first year, as opposed to continuing what the previous coaching staff had done?
I was on staff with Coach Meeks last year, and he had a heart transplant, and man, he is a legend out here, great coach, and won everywhere he's been, and but he had a heart transplant about week 4 last year, and I was able to take over the reins then, and I'm just kind of old school, and we're going to line up, and we're going to try to put 2 tight ends in there and 3 backs in the backfield, and we're going to run the football, and that's what our motto is. That's what we believe in, and our kids are just. It's not as flashy as the spread or anything like that, but that's not us, and so it just fits our kids a whole lot better here, and so I would say that's going to be our biggest stamp. Is I think we threw 2 passes the other night, and one for 3 yards and 1 for 6 yards. And I think the rest of the time was all rushes. So I would say that's probably our stamp. Is just a level of physicality, in the off season, at practice, insisting they practice as hard as they can every rep. I'd just say those things right there are, some stamps that we put on it.
We're talking with Josh Finney, the head coach of the 8-0 Mount Vernon Tigers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. Coach, I want to ask you about one of your guys. You know, the trigger man in this offense is Kason Pletcher, but you mentioned it. You don't ask him to throw a ton.
Yeah.
He threw the ball twice. 1 for 2, to be fair. 1 for 2, 50% completion. Exactly, but he did a lot of his damage on the ground and then as well just operating that offense. How important is he to what you guys are trying to accomplish out there?
Oh, he's the magician. He's the card dealer. You know, he's a signal caller. You know, he's got a lot of free reign to be able to do some things up front, you know, and check some plays and get me out of a bad call. And, you know, I look really good when he's in there able to, you know, make some checks and do things that can be done a better way, you know, with him being able to see it exactly what somebody is in. So, Casey's a super kid, very intelligent kid, and you know, he's just a leader by example, and he just does. He's a better kid than he is a football player. That's what's amazing.
You guys are on the other side of the ball. The defense has seen some pretty significant improvement. You guys gave up an average of 27 points a game last year. Solid, but you know, something that to improve on this year. You've cut that number in half, down to 13 points per game. What's been the difference defensively? What's changed on the defensive side that has you guys rolling?
I would say the same effort. You know, we also were able to put a big emphasis on track last year and get some kids out running and, you know, win the district track meet and the area track meet. And you know, we've got a bunch of kids that can run on defense, and, you know, they swarm to the football. They take pride in getting there, and it's a very tight-knit unit that those guys have over there. And, you know, we rotate in a bunch of defensive linemen. We're not very big at all. There's lots of times we don't have a kid on defense over 195 pounds, you know.
Yeah, that'll happen, especially at the 3A level. Every once in a while, you'll run into that. We're talking with Josh Finney of Mount Vernon here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation. Hashtag TF Today. Coach, you guys now head into a game. No game can be taken for granted. You guys are taking on Quitman this coming week, and then you guys get Farmersville in the regular season finale. Overall, when you take a look at your district, you've run through most of them so far, but overall, when you take a look at how this district has shaken out, does anything jump out to you about District 7 3A Division 1?
It's just it's a district of matchups, you know, and you got some teams who run the football and some that are pass happy, and, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, you think this team's really going to beat the snot out of somebody else, but, you know, it's a game of matchups where, you know, maybe one team don't understand the run game, or maybe somebody don't understand the passing game as well as others, you know. And so when you get those type of matchups with offense and defenses, you know, it can get crazy sometimes, which we've had in our district. You know, it's a fairly balanced district where, you know, Mineola is got a good chance to get second, and you know, they got to still waiting on us to play Farmersville to see what happened. But Winsboro and Commerce and, you know, Grand Sling keeps playing everybody real tough, and you know, there's just been a bunch of nail biters in our district, and you know, so it's a very, very competitive district for football.
You know, and Coach, one more question before we let you go. This has been a program that has been, you know, let's say a bit down in the dumps recently. You guys make the playoffs last year, get bounced in the first round. It's been a tough go for this program. An 8-0 start is something we haven't seen out of Mount Vernon in quite a while. What is the vibe like around town right now with the Purple Tigers flying as high as they are?
Oh, it's a great feeling, and, you know, we're just able to capitalize on some of that stuff, and I wish I could bottle it up and sell it, you know.
If you figure out how to do that, give me a call and we'll go into business together.
Yeah, make some money. But no, our kids have been doing, you know, even last spring, and I mean, they've done a bunch of community service and helping out, and, you know, I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, it's still just I mean, I most doubt would, love to, win a state championship. I've never been fortunate enough to do that, and a lot of great coaches never are. And if that's what we're going to grade ourselves on, whether or not win a state championship or not, and, man, we're dang sure trying and hope we get there. But somewhere along the way we falter. They still need a good base of tutelage and lessons that they've been taught and they've learned from this game and these coaches to carry with them through life. So just got a very good opportunity ahead of us right now to keep playing strong.
Well, you're off to a fantastic start, 8-0 for the Purple Tigers of Mount Vernon and their head coach, Josh Finney. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on your hot start, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank y'all very much.
There he goes, Josh Finney, head coach, Mount Vernon Purple Tigers. This is 100% true. That is a school that we have had the wrong mascot in the magazine before.
That's right.
Because there's Vernon, which is the Lions, and then there's Mount Vernon, which is the Tigers, not to mention Mount Pleasant, who is Mount Pleasant?
See, this is why it happens.
Right, Mount Pleasant, and then there's Mount Enterprise, and there's Mount, I don't know.
It's like they're trying to confuse
Mount
everyone.
Calm. Calm. I'm trying to think of other mounts. Anyway, in any case, Clint Mountain View. In any case, they're off to a fantastic start. And
you can't overstate the position they're in right now, right? Farmersville's going to be a tough game. We know Sammy Burnett will have his guys ready to go. But, traditionally, Mineola has won that region, and they've been able to go to the regional final and then get to the state semifinals. I mean, it's if you win this district, it's often you're the favorite in the region.
And here's the thing: I'm willing to say that they're going to beat Quitman on Friday night. I mean, they're pretty significant favorites over Quitman, who's undefeated to start, or winless rather. So you got an undefeated against a winless. You go with the undefeated. They're going to roll in with a legitimate chance to go 10-0, and that is a pretty remarkable feat for a guy in his first year, first full year.
I'd be worried I'd be setting the bar too high.
Yeah, I know. Really. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, next year if they go like 7-3, people are going to be like, "Hey,
Coach?
come
on now,
man, losing his touch." In any case, we appreciate Coach Josh Finney from Mount Vernon, hopping on with us here on Texas.
You did it to yourself.